Good morning, Judith.
Good morning, Sonya.
Welcome to the Coach's Cup podcast. I am Sonya Green from SonyaGreenCoaching.com.
And I'm Judith Bender. I'm one of the amazing weight loss coaches with the No BS weight loss program.
And today we are going to be talking about people saying words.
Oh, Sonya.
And words they say, right?
And they're just words.
Yeah.
And the value and the meaning we assign them.
Yes.
And why it matters.
Yes, that's the gold right there, the value and the meaning that we assign the words people say. Mm-hmm. And so by the time we get to the end today, we're going to hopefully help you to understand that people say words all day long, and those words are always, always neutral.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right, because different people will think differently about those words.
Yeah. Yeah, when we started this with this topic, I immediately thought of the saying that we hear as children: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me." And the reason that saying is true, or when it is true, is because we don't assign meaning and value to their words.
Right. It's so true. And it's such a I'm trying to get a visual on the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I mean, there you go. It's optional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do hurt, it's on you.
So we've got 5 points that we're going to try to hit today, and get them all in. So let's get started. And the first point that we wanted to bring up when we think about the words that people say is that words people say, like I said, they're neutral, which means they are never about you. There's usually some kind of issue that they have that makes them say or do whatever it is.
Right. In particular, I think in this particular case it's sometimes where like hurt people. Yes. They say words that are intentionally hurtful because they are hurting.
Yes.
And there's great value. I think so many of us see that. And we were doing a little pre-gaming and you had mentioned about like with your kids, did you ever have to, help your kids with this? And while I'm sure I must have, I just can't draw upon any experience from that. But how many of us have recognized someone or know someone? You can tell when someone is hurting and they are saying words that are intentionally coming from them, that are coming from a place of hurt.
Yes. I think about there was a girl that I went to school with from first grade all the way through school, and she took any opportunity she could when we were young to say very ugly things to me. And it really did. It hurt a lot of the time. But in retrospect, after I grew up and kind of could look back at the situation, I realized that she had somebody, a family member who was also in school with us, who was like the popular girl. And they ended up always being compared. And, so I think that's exactly what was happening with her. She had to, the hurt she was feeling, she was transferring to me, and I was an easy target. Right. Because, I was the fat kid and I was, so I was an easy target for her. But of course, at the time it just hurt. It didn't, I didn't realize it. Now I do.
It's so funny. Oh, here goes my brain. Now I'm traveling. Thinking about stories. I remember in 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, I was mentoring. Like it was part of our job was to like being in the beta club. we would work with, I'm not sure if it was kindergartners or third graders with math. He was a small child, regardless of whatever age group
Yeah.
this was. Maybe he was a third grader and he looked like a kindergartner.
Yeah.
But what I remember was he had a lot of energy and a lot of disconnect. Isn't that funny? I can remember like from that age. And
Yeah.
every time he saw me in the hallway, so many other kids in my group were getting hugs from their little buddies, right? The little buddy that you mentored. And mine would yell, "There's fat Judith, there's fat Judith." And I swear I can remember just being like, what is wrong with this kid? Who does he think he is? Like, it was still, I still feel that way. Like, I had compassion. I know I did in the moment, but it was not fun.
Yeah. No. No. And that leads right into our next point, that whatever the words are, they can't hurt us without our permission.
Right.
So it's interesting to me that your first thought was, what's wrong with him?
Because what? But I think I also had the realization that he probably didn't come from a family like I did.
Yeah.
There was something different in how he grew up, because I was a nice kid. I really worked hard on helping him. Yeah. Like, he was lucky to have me.
Right. and that's the thing. Usually if somebody's words are hurting us, we aren't coming from that place that he was lucky to have me or she's lucky to know me. There's a feeling of lack that we're experiencing.
Right. The buy-in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like with me, I totally bought into it because, it was an easy story to believe that, I was fat and I wasn't pretty and, all of these things, I just bought right into it. But, it takes our permission for somebody's words to hurt us. And I think it's interesting when somebody insults us or says something that we think they're insulting us. Sometimes we don't even know for sure. But if it's something that we don't feel a lack in, if it's an insult that just doesn't hit the mark. I mean, if somebody looked at me and said, "Well, you're stupid," that wouldn't affect me because I am very confident, in what I do. I mean, they could say I'm stupid about something, but
but what we don't know, because
oh no, there's plenty of things I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. If we know when it doesn't hit the mark, then that insult is just going to kind of bounce off.
Yeah.
It's when it hits a sore spot where there's some truth.
Yeah. Like, unlike the time in college when I had just, I had been up and down on the scale, but I remember there's nothing like a young man screaming from the tallest dormitory, "Eat a salad."
Oh my goodness.
I remember, I just remember shame. Like, I'm the only one around.
Right.
And just feeling immediate, like he is yelling that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a different version. Yeah. I did not have that 5th or 6th grade version of me. Like, what's wrong with him? I bought in that moment. I was like, ooh, yeah, this is embarrassing. This is.
But it's, in looking back, there was some issue that he had that was fueling that, the need to do that. The need to do that was some lack that he was feeling.
Which is a common, I don't even know how to approach this. Like, men that come from, that how we will say when they're coming from a place of lack, they're compensating for their own insecurities.
Yeah.
My brain just went all kinds of places. You better pull me back in, Sonya.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, but I want to, it is easy for us to realize that it's their issue, that they're coming from a place of lack. And then we want to retaliate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's easy for us to want to insult them in some way, like make it some part of well, you're just trying to overcompensate.
Or the inverse, right? Or the flip side of that would be we turn it in on ourselves, which I think so many women like we do. Like I turned that hurt in on myself.
Yeah.
I made it mean so much more.
Yeah.
I love the words.
And either of those, I would say that either of those is an incorrect response. To turn around and try to insult him, or to turn it in and really soak in that shame, have a little pity party for yourself. Either of those is not the best way to deal with these words.
Yeah, I'm still thinking I'm thinking about that college version of me. I'm like, I don't know how I would have handled it. Even today, it still brings that feeling of shame. I can feel it.
Yes.
Someone yelling.
Yeah.
Immediately. The avoiding of going out around those dorms again, or, because it was the boys all or whatever.
Right.
Not sure. What would you have coached me on? How now
I would say, and this happens to be our third point, the first thing we want to do is have a little gut check moment and allow yourself to really feel your reaction, right?
Yeah.
To those words. What am I feeling? And probably, I would guess that 20-year-old Judith probably didn't immediately say, oh, well, there's the shame.
Oh, no. It was like, that get me in my room, get me in my dorm room. Like like if I could have disappeared in that moment,
yes,
I would have just beam me up, Scotty. Get me out of here.
Yeah. That's often, we have those gut reactions, and our I guess it's our lower brains, there's that whole fight or flight kind of thing. And so that's our immediate response. Our amygdala. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, I think my amygdala was coming online in college because I sure didn't feel it much before then.
Yeah. So we have that fight or flight kind of response. And both of those are lower brain kinds of responses.
And normal. Like,
yes, normal. Absolutely.
Like there's, I didn't have the skill set.
Yeah.
To deal with that feeling then. It was my first experience with the amygdala online. Firing.
Yeah.
Telling me to get out of there. Danger. Yeah. This is danger. You have done something wrong. You are wrong.
Yeah. So I would encourage you, we would encourage you, when you have a reaction to words, whatever they are, whether it's somebody at work, whether it's somebody screaming something out of a dorm, anywhere in between, your lower brain is going to be the first thing to react. That's what it was created to do. That's because we are suddenly unsafe. We are suddenly looking for a way out.
Beam me up.
Yeah. So it's either a fight or a flight, typically. Either beam me up or I'm going to shoot something back to you to hurt you. But this is the moment when you let your prefrontal cortex have a minute. Right? This is a minute when I would say to practice that, putting your hand on your chest. I'm safe.
Right now.
Yeah, I am safe right now.
Grounded.
And really examine, what is this reaction I'm having? Is it shame? And if so, why?
It was just a natural response in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very common. And, there's nothing wrong with feeling shame as long as you can name it and then Go ahead.
Well, right, because when you name it and you open yourself up to the feeling and then witness the feeling, it's just the body has that energy that needs to be released
Yeah.
because you've had a thought, right, that caused the feeling, and the feeling is just a vibration in the body from the chemical cocktail. And the best, most healthy, natural thing you could do for yourself is to name it, open up to it, and witness the feeling.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Don't judge yourself for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, your reaction, you couldn't have stopped it.
Lord, no.
Because it is your lower brain. You know, that reaction's out of the bag before you have time to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you can then stop and process.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm shaking my head for those on the.
And, you know, then spend some time. The next point is to spend some time examining whatever your reaction is. Take a look at it. You know, looking back, I know that many times when I've had those, when somebody has said something and I've made it mean something about me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it is because, you know, I have some thought work that I need to do. I have some thoughts that are moving through that have been on loop since I was at least in first grade.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And so it's good to know that those are still playing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. I'm thinking about, it's been a while. Like, I don't even know, like being in public, someone would shout something like that at I don't know. It's very,
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, sometimes people don't even have to say those words. This is about words that people say to us, but sometimes we can just think that they're thinking those things.
oh, right, right. Overhearing other people make comments, personalizing it, thinking it's about you. You don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely don't know who they meant that comment. Like, I don't know that they were shouting at me. I think they were because I think I was the only one. I
Yeah.
certainly in that moment made it all about me. Who
Right.
else needs to eat a salad but me?
Right. Yeah. There could have been somebody over there with a big old hamburger.
Right? Who
And you
knows?
just didn't see him.
Ugh.
So, you know, what does this reaction mean? And what does it mean to me in this moment? How can I make it mean something that will help me grow instead of something that's going to keep me in this
Small, wanting to hide in the dark.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, I think as getting older helps a lot,
A
right?
lot, without a doubt. Yeah. But I am having no problem tapping into that moment for the
Yeah.
record.
No, it's yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you know, we can all tap into those embarrassing moments, those shameful moments.
Mhm.
We can pull those up really easily.
Mhm.
But let's try tapping into some positive moments too. You know, that's not really what this
Right.
this one is about, but it's if we can tap into those negative moments, we can also tap into positive memories. So, you know, we can always replace them with those.
Mm. But of course, it's what I made that comment mean, because it
Of
was innocent
course.
enough. Eat a
Yeah.
salad.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, right. Maybe I should be a vegan.
Yeah. Worried about your cholesterol.
Period, right? Something like that.
Absolutely. So we can't guess other people's reactions. And you know, this goes back to my favorite point to make. It is a waste of time and energy to try to.
Yes. Oh gosh, Sonya.
I like to save that emotional energy.
It's so true. And it's so easy though to just I'm just finding myself like thinking now about what a difference having thought work makes. Like I really don't And maybe it's because what I do, like listening to people and picking out thoughts and the nature, like
Yes.
I just feel so far, maybe I don't want to say removed, but like words are just words.
Yeah. Yeah. They're neutral.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
are neutral in your world. And making them mean something is exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
take them as neutral.
Mm-hmm. Just my baby girl's calling me right now in case y'all hear a phone vibrating.
Well, the last point that we have, look at her pretty face. The last point that we have is something that we've kind of touched on, but it's also going to lead to next week's topic, and that's you always get to decide how you're going to handle people's words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get to decide if you're going to let the amygdala take over,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to go back and hide in your cubicle in shame, or if you're going to rush out and try to wound that person the way you were wounded, or you can examine your reaction, try to figure out why these words have affected you this way, and then move forward to a cleaner place.
There you go. I feel like I'm at a cleaner place. I did have no trouble going back there, but I was also thinking about, like the collective experience made me think about anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
how, being the amygdala coming online. I do remember feeling that a very intense feeling of shame,
Yeah.
and how easily after college things were just much more. I just felt things at a different level than I never felt in high school or growing up.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway, just a little bonus there about Coach Judith.
Well, and I mean, it's good to look at that because there are a lot of things depending on our age coming online. Um, Once we're more mature, I was joking about, our age. There are lots of things that I might go somewhere without makeup frequently now, where when I was 20, I would have never done that.
Seriously.
Seriously, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, because there's different things that we care about, different things that we think about. My values, are different. The meaning that I make about myself, my looks are different. So I think as those values and things change, it also gives us the opportunity to mature and realize that we get to decide how we're going to take what we're going to do with the things people say, and how we realize ultimately it's just our thoughts.
It's mind blowing. Are we making this too simple? I'm like, it
is simple for us, I think, because we practice it every day.
That's where I'm like, I'm sitting here head tripping. Like I coach people all day long on their thoughts, but when it comes to like talking about it and listening and having this moment with you, I'm like, well, it's so simple. Like, why do we have to talk? Why do we have to talk about this? Oh yeah, because we've been doing this. We have that gift.
Yeah. Yeah. And people let other people's words trip them up all the time. They let it victimize them. They let it traumatize them. They let it, and we are giving our power to those people every time we do that. I know when I'm coaching someone and they keep going back to, well, so-and-so said, and I'm like, is this really the person you want to give your power to? Is this the person you want to decide how you're going to do your job or how you're going to spend your day? When you go home angry, the person who said those words isn't hurting. You know,
That's true.
they're not having any problem at all because they've moved on. Or if they are somebody who's mean, then they've wounded you just like they were trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you've given them your power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true.
So this is kind of a short and sweet episode, but we want to encourage you to keep the power for yourself, to not allow things that people say or that you think they might have said or thought.
Stay out of people's thought bubbles.
Yes.
Don't make things about yourself. You know, I don't think we've mentioned this book. This makes me think of the book, The Four Agreements.
Oh yeah.
Right. Such a good book to mention and draw in. And we didn't even pregame on this.
Yeah.
But you know, being impeccable with your word, taking nothing personally, always do your best. And I'll think of the fourth one here in a minute.
Yeah.
Just it's such a good I think it's Ron or Don Ruiz.
Yes.
The Four Agreements. It's like a 4-hour listen on audiobook, and it's an easy read. And I just love the simplicity of the information. And it's because it's kind of told like the Toltec Indian language, you know, so it's got a mystical vibe to it, but a simplicity that you can't argue with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you know that when you, I guess when I practice being impeccable with my word, which is one of them, you know, it also, I'm not so quick to judge others and assume that they're trying to wound me with their words.
Exactly. That's like from a place of authority of yourself.
Yes.
When you're impeccable with your word, you are also with yourself and others.
Yes.
So
Yeah. You give other people the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. I'm Googling it real quick. Oh, don't make assumptions. The fourth one.
There you go. Yeah. So again, it goes right with that.
Impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Should I read that one just for fun because we've got it here?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you are immune to the opinions of actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering.
Yes.
And don't make assumptions and always do your best.
Yeah.
There you go.
And, you know, ultimately, this goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago about minding your own business. When you are focused on doing the things, not making assumptions, on doing your best in your world, it really does cut down on the assumptions you make about other people.
Right. It's the whole thing of staying in your lane, keep your eyes on your own paper, do your best, let everybody else, don't get in other people's business.
Yeah. If somebody says something about me, 9 times out of 10, the first thing I do is think, I wonder what's going on with them. I don't think, wow, they have hurt me and now I can't go on. I'm going to have a horrible day. I wonder what's going on with them. You know, and that's the place that I encourage you to get to, because there is a peace there.
Yeah. And it's looking at them and like, it's clearly like even my ability at the third grade kid, like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah. Yeah. Is there something that I can do to help make their day better? Yeah.
The best thing I can do for both of us in this situation is to just let it be.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time or attention.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly not about me. Moving on.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best. Don't make assumptions.
And next week, we're going to talk about victim mentality.
Mm.
This, as we were talking today, we thought, this is going to lead right in to that whole idea of victim mentality. So if this is something you're working on, then just remember, it isn't about you. People need, you have to give your permission for words to hurt you. Allow yourself to feel your reaction, examine that reaction, and the choice is always yours. You get to decide how it makes you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You get to decide if it ruins your day or if it's just another thing that happens and you're moving on because you've got your own goals to worry about.
And be mindful when you do share with your words what someone else said with others. Be mindful of if you're on Facebook and you're making comments. I just want to encourage everyone to think before you make assumptions about what others have said or what you're making their words mean and what you're jumping in on.
Yeah. That's I've seen that happen a few times lately. And what is your goal there?
Mm-hmm.
Because often it's just stirring the pot to, why is it? This is one of those where, who's the guy that,
Where do we see him? Where is he? I don't know.
Oh, the podcast, I am drawing a blank. I didn't expect
Gratitude guy. The gratitude guy.
The big leap.
Oh, okay.
Where he goes, you bring in your question. So if you find yourself wanting to reach out and post on social media about this or take it to a bigger platform, sit down for a minute and say, what am I trying to get from this? What is it that makes me feel like taking this to social media is going to benefit me in some way? And just pull out your curiosity there.
Yeah. And even examining, if you're going to go that far, why not ask, what is it about this person's words that I'm taking so personally? Why am I choosing to make this about me?
Yeah.
Like what part of me needs to address this?
Yes.
Because I'm ready to work on this and not have this mean anything about me. This is my work to do.
Yeah. And like I said, I promise you the benefit, the time and energy you will save will be absolutely worth just dropping it in the trash right there.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So if you are looking for a coach right now, I have a few spots left. You can find me at sonyagreencoaching.com.
And if you wanted to work with me, I've got about a 2 to 4 week waiting period, but you can find me on the one-on-one coaching program with No BS weight loss program. If you're probably listening to this, you probably know where to find me.
Yeah, that's right. You probably know where to find both of us, but just a reminder, we also want to remind you and thank you for those reviews that are coming in. We appreciate them.
So nice.
And we want to remind you, if you haven't reviewed the podcast yet, if you would jump on over to wherever you get that podcast and give us a 5-star review, we would appreciate it. That helps other people find us easier too. So there you go.
All right.
Until next week. Words are neutral, folks. We'll see you next. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was going to say, but we love you. Those words aren't neutral.
No, we love our listeners, and that is not neutral. That's full of all kinds of good stuff.
All kinds of good meaning to it. That's why we do this, right, Sonya?
It is every week.
So we could get together and share the love.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.